I first started making pizza in my early teens, and I just loved it. And I loved working with food. I continued on that path and eventually made it to the Culinary Institute of America in New York. After graduating, I moved back to Boston. I worked at a number of different fine dining, upper-level restaurants, and gradually made it to the top of these restaurants and became chef and opened a number of restaurants for some different individuals. Eventually, I realized it was time to go out on my own. So then I came to open Garcon Super Slice. Personally, pizza, because it was a food that I fell in love with at a young age. As a child, I remember going to a pizza shop called John's Pizza on Martha's Vineyard, where I grew up, and just eating that food product and watching the pizza cook, Pino Lombardo, pasta pizzas. I think it was like my first love. What I've noticed in the years between those first days learning how to cook pizza and now is that a lot of restaurants got away from producing in-house products and keeping things simple. What I see now is a lot of frozen, pre-made product that restaurants are just purchasing out of a warehouse and then turning around and dropping it in the fryer or roasting it in the oven. When I opened Garcon Super Slice, I knew we were going to make everything as much as possible on our own. So we make the pizza dough here using a decades-old sourdough starter. We make the sauce, we make the salad dressings, we make the condiments, and a number of other food items. Our pizza dough uses a sourdough starter and a fresh yeast for leavening. We use domestic flours, salt, olive oil, and water. That's all that goes into our pizza dough. What I learned from my other restaurant, little sandwich shop, opened through COVID, was that there was a shipping and a transit issue, and there was problems getting products from overseas. So when I was opening this project, I wanted to make sure that the menu consisted of mostly domestic products. So that's where I started, making sure that our flour was grown and milled in the US, making sure that our cheese was processed in the United States. So the main ingredients for the pizza product was domestic. We wouldn't have to be worried if we were going to be able to get 00 flour from Italy or San Marzano tomatoes. That was important to me, to make sure that we would be able to sustain through any sort of crisis in shipping. And here we are with tariffs coming in. We're going to have a crisis in shipping within a month. Hopefully I made the right decision with choosing the products that I did. This past week, we just started working with a local mushroom grower and forager from Salem. He has been bringing us some mushrooms for our mushroom pizza. They are oyster mushrooms and maitake mushrooms. I really wanted to create, in my mind, the best pizza experience. A nice thin, crisp crust, a nice fluffy back crust that has some crunch to it, but some chew, a nice well-rounded sauce that has some deep tomato flavor, like a little bit of herb, then just the simple few toppings that come together really well. I was a chef in Boston for almost 20 years, and as I learned that I would like to go off on my own, I guess I was priced out of the city to try and operate as a single operator. I had lived in Salem a few years earlier for a short stint, and as I was looking for my first business to open, I found a little sandwich shop on Craigslist and ended up moving up here over 6 years ago. I opened a sandwich shop called Chez Casa, which I operated for just about 5 years. In that time, I became infatuated with the city of Salem. I really appreciate the location, the history, the waterfront, the people here, the open welcomeness to all different kinds of people, and it's a little weird.